everybody. If you've been around one and done a while, you've heard my disdain quite often for the amount of teams the Big Ten gets into the tournament. Last season, this 18-team league received 8 single-digit seeds. And to be fair, each team did win at least one game in the dance. Is it time for me to shut my yapper? Or is one of the largest conferences in the land getting ready to fall back in line? The captain of the ship, Mike Holland, joins me on a busy night of breaking these teams down into our world-famous tiers and talking me off of the ledge when it comes to this monstrosity of a league that's looking as wide open as ever. Recording live from somewhere, this is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información, and we're powered by the galaxy's greatest website. It's drroto.com. I am your sometimes humble host. And if you don't know, you're about to know. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. My name is Jay Heinrich, and you can find me over on X at Dr. William Cannon. While he's dancing around in the living room, you can hear him shaking it around.
Oh,
shout out to Wally, and shout out to this man on your viewing device with me. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself. He's the captain of the One and Done ship. He does the ship, I do the train. Follow him on X at MC Holland34, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, what it do?
What it do? Well, what it do is this is conference preview number 30, Jay. This is the 30 spot that we're hitting tonight, man. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it just flies by, man. So I appreciate it for everybody. Hey, man, people have been checking out these power conferences, but we did America East, and we did the SWAC. Go back and check those out, man. So
we did
Mike.
We did the Ivy League this year.
Yeah, we even did the Ivy League this year. So go back and check out all those. Also, we're running a cool best ball contest over on Fantrax. We're trying to get 20 of the breadheads in. We've got about 10 in there right now at last check, so it's half full. But we're going to give away a prize. You can see the QR code up at the top of the screen. That looks very nice. So if you're interested in doing a live draft with us here in a couple of weeks and, messing around, doing college hoops, best ball, man. You just draft and then look at it every now and then. There's something you have to do. It's just a lot of fun. We'll give away a sweet prize, which we're still not giving away exactly what that's going to be just yet, because we want to try to get the whole thing full, and then we'll announce that, man. But I'm excited. It's Big Ten. We got a ton of teams, man. So I'm going to stop my yapping and send it back over to you, my friend.
We have given away some pretty nice prizes in our day here on One and Done, and this is a unique one. It's one that we haven't done yet. So make sure you hop in the Fantrax Best Ball League, check out what time and night and all that the draft is, so you can make sure to be there. But we'd love to have you over there for sure. Good to see everybody in the live chat. Riley, Mason, Steve, good to see you, man. Thanks for hopping in the chat with us tonight. Always good to see you in there, Steve. We got some people already planting some flags here in the live chat.
We got a lot of Big Ten people.
We do. We have a lot of regulars in the chat and that hang around the show that are Big Ten cats. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking that we'll get the godfather of Iowa bowling here coming up later on, Cam. But before then, let's get to our overview of the Big Ten. Mike, last year, in my opinion, overachieved on the whole, finished second out of 31 conferences in KenPom's strength of conference metrics. It was a very impressive year for all the trash that I've talked about the Big Ten. Just all the time.
Yeah.
They really played well. Obviously, we talked about the 8 single-digit seeds in the Cold Open. Michigan State, though, finding a way. It had been a while since Izzo claimed himself a regular season title and then won it by 3 games over Maryland and Michigan. But then Michigan got the last laugh, getting hot in the conference tournament, knocked off Wisconsin to claim that conference tourney title. Mason, just a quick overview, okay? Just a quick overview right now. Big Ten, obviously, like I said, got 8 single-digit seeds in. Izzo and company made the Elite Eight and lost to Auburn. 3-seed Wisconsin was upset in the second round by BYU, a team that's gotten votes in our poll over on Twitter. to win the Big 12 that's out there. So go check that out later on too. 4 seeds, Maryland and Purdue made the Sweet 16. 5 seed, Michigan also made the Sweet 16. Oregon fell victim to a second round exit to Arizona. No shame there. 5 seed Illinois bowed out to Kentucky in the round of 32. And then 7 seed UCLA also won that game, but then got knocked out by the Fighting Rick Barnes and the Tennessee Volunteers. What are your thoughts here, man, on this conference last year heading into this year before we get to our tiers?
Yeah, so I mean, really, it's we got a couple of favorites, right, that everybody's going to be talking about. Riley saying the Big Ten is going to be like the SEC last year. We'll see, man. I mean, you're going to see when we do our tiers, and then even when we get to the high tier, and I think Steve's kind of teasing a little bit here, saying Dusty May's talking about he's running Yaxel, Amara, Morez, the 3 big lineup together with Elliot Cadell. We're gonna talk about that here in a second, Steve. Well, probably a little bit later in the show, obviously. Hint, where they're going to be at in our tiers. But, yeah, man, just a lot of cross-country travel. You got the win on the road, right? If you want to win this conference as king of the single entry, Corey McDaniel diving in here, man, talking about his guy, Fletcher.
Corey.
Oh, boy. Not this. We can't.
I can't wait till DFS shows, man. They're going to be so fun.
Do not play Fletcher Lawyer in DFS. All right. Be wide open at the top, man. I don't know. Like, a lot of people are hyping Purdue. I got some issues with Purdue and Michigan. But we'll talk about those as we get to it.
We will get to that later on. But first, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. 1,590, I believe, is the number we're sitting at right now of our favorite hoop heads, bread heads, ball knowers.
592.
592. Jeez, those buttons just
15,
keep getting smashed. We definitely
it's right there.
That. We're on our way. Our guy, Napesy Hustle, pushing the buttons tonight. He set that goal for us, 1,600 by tip, and I think we can get there. If you haven't already, push that button for us and turn on that notification bell. We got one more conference to preview after this one, and then we're going to give you some news and notes leading up to the tip-off of the regular season. We're going to get some DFS shows when the season starts. You're not going to want to miss any draft. So we got that best ball draft coming too. So make sure you hit all those buttons so you don't miss a minute of our college basketball coverage. All right, Mike, it's time for the world-famous tiers. Keep the live chat rolling as we move on to what we like to call the foundation, the bottom, but it's the foundation of the league here. And as some of our commenters like to say, it's the teams that aren't any good, the teams that suck. But who knows? With Mike Rhodes and Penn State, it's at least been a little bit of a roller coaster. Maybe there you see some up and a valley. What's it going to be now? Enters year 3 with a lot of question marks. Now Ace Baldwin and YKN are walking back through that door. Tons of freshmen and sophomores when you talk about the type of experience on this roster. Not a lot. One key player coming back is Freddie DeLeon, who should take on that alpha-type role for the Nittany Lions. And then Tunka coming in from Turkey, man, coming in with a lot of hype to play point guard. A lot of hype. We'll see if he can live up to that for sure. These two are going to be key to any kind of success for me, Mike. Those are the players that really jump off the page for me for Penn State. Unless one of those freshmen like Caden Mingo or Mason Blackwood step up early, it just doesn't feel like the firepower is there for Penn State to contend on a regular basis. Sorry about that, Penn State fans in the chat. Rutgers, though, Mike, could they be any better after accomplishing things that had never been done before at Rutgers?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, Coach Steve Peichel, what a weird situation to be in. You had high expectations, and we admittedly were too high just because you had 2 top 5 picks. He literally didn't have anything around him. And now those 2 guys are in the NBA, so Bailey and Harper, and you fell below 500 for the second straight year in Big Ten play. So it's like a bunch of role players stepping into bigger spots here, like Jermichael Davis, Dylan Grant. Bringing in the portal is not great. I mean, these guys are – they were okay in the mid-major ranks, like Darren Buchanan, Tariq Francis from NJIT. This is a big jump, man. I like this kid, this Bosnian kid, man, Hearn Zerno. He's a nice player. Watched some film on him a couple of weeks ago. But they have a large freshman class. I know Riley's calling his shot with Caden Powers there, man. I just feel like it's going to be a pretty long year for Coach Peichel, man. We got the Golden Gophers down here, the Ben Johnson era. came to a close, and hey, they're turning to Nico Medved. So what a hire. It's like, how did they get Nico, Jay? Oh, guess what? He
Man,
went to – yeah.
we immediately, when that hire was made, the first thing that we both said was he had to have gone to school there, right? Like, you don't take that job if you're Nico Medved, and sure enough.
Yeah, and he did. And I think he's eventually going to have some success there, but I mean, it looks pretty bleak on both ends of the floor. I mean, you have the transfer from Davidson, Bobby Durkin, 13.5 points, 36%, the A10. Like, I mean, he can shoot it, but they're going to have to rely on some mid-major dudes to try and win some games. Langston Reynolds from Northern Colorado, Robert Viola from San Jose State, Chauncey Willis from Western Michigan. They're going to have to prove that they can do anything here in the Big Ten. And I'm not willing to take that bet. Yes, Cade Tyson, former Tar Heel Cade Tyson, if he had stayed at Belmont, the what ifs, right? You could do that with all these mid-major guys that it's like, oh, you transferred up and you're not playing. So that's just how it goes sometimes, man. Secure the bag and I guess go back down and have some fun. So you got Northwestern here, Jay. Has anybody done more with less than your boy Chris Collins? Like, all this guy does is figure out how to put his teams in successful positions. But I don't know about this one, man. I don't know.
Well, we've said that a lot looking at some of these rosters that he's had over the years, and it just looks like I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome it. It's another prove it to me type of year, I think. But one thing that Collins can count on is 20 points per game from Martinelli, man. Like, Mason planting his flag right there saying Martinelli. Although, if there's like 10 people on the Big Ten first team.
Don't get started, my man.
Hey, I tweeted the other day, replied to Rothstein, did big numbers the other day talking about that stuff, man. I just wagging Ellie. Love it, Steve. But listen, I don't know who else they're going to count on, though, man. Jaden Reed is going to get a strong look at point guard, but there we've seen it. His efficiency was a little bit of an issue. Someone like guard KJ Wyndham, maybe Jordan Clayton. One of these guys is going to have to step up. But even if they do, defensively, who's going to get the stops here consistently? Would you be surprised, Mike, if they just have a good year, find a way to win 9 games?
No.
And which by the way, is a good year. 9-10 in this situation, So, I mean, I think it could happen, but I'm not betting on them to finish much higher than some of these other teams. Definitely not any in the mid, but duck for cover. It's Nebraska time. I know we had some Nebraska chatter in the chat earlier.
Oh, boy.
Those last final weeks of the season, it felt not great. Like, Hoiberg able to rack up back-to-back 20-plus win seasons. It felt off, man. And now there's guys that were major contributors to that team that are gone, and Coach Hoiberg has a big task in front of him here.
Yeah, I mean, Williams and Gary are gone, and Mason basically broke it down for us, saying that we're wrong. Well, he's saying you're wrong, Jay. Obviously, this is your pick down here. I had nothing to do with this, Mason. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, this Connor Sejan, he's looked like someone for the last couple of years that can really take a nice step forward. He had a nice year last year, 11 points per game, 38% from 3. Sam Hoiberg's back, Berkey Buyuk Tunsil. Rick Mast, obviously, would have loved to have seen him on that team last year, out with injury. So, major concern here is, man, what else are they going to get from this backcourt? I mean, we just saw Jamarcus Lawrence, his name flash. He's doing the old Marfo thing where he's coming back to Nebraska. Got Kendall Blue as a nice player for St. Thomas. Bryce Sanford obviously has some potential, can obviously shoot it, but there's just not enough answers in the preseason for me, and not enough defensive pedigree, honestly. Like, I'm not, like, we're getting stops with Rink Mass in the Big Ten. I don't know, man. So, yeah, for me, Nebraska, down here in the low tier. Maryland, Kevin Willard, the exit from Villanova. Oh, we talked about that already. Buzz Williams is now coming in. Another guy that kind of likes to move around every 4 to 5 years. But one thing you know about Buzz's teams, man, they want to play some defense. They're definitely going to need to do that because, Jay, this offensive profile of this team, it's pretty ugly. Like, Miles Rice, is on this squad. Elijah Saunders is a guy that's probably going to have to do some heavy lifting. I don't know. There's a player to watch here, Darius Adams. He's a freshman wing, so it's just not enough. I think they'll be tough defensively, but that'll keep them in some games. I just don't see it, man. There's just too much strength in this mid and high tier for Maryland to compete for me.
It's basically the opposite of what Nebraska and Northwestern are dealing with there. Like, you're going to get the defense from Maryland, but who's going to score? Nebraska and Northwestern aren't going to stop anybody. It's going to be tough. Minnesota and Rutgers joining Penn State, Northwestern. No, let me just start at the top here. Penn State, Rutgers, Minnesota, Northwestern, Nebraska, and Maryland, as you can see them in the order there. Right there in the foundational tier. Okay, we'll say the foundational tier. It's the low tier. That's where we think they're going to finish. Man, pick one out of that one to be the most likely to jump. What do you got?
Oh, Northwestern.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have Wagonelli, right?
Yes.
In the DFS streets, the wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just Collins, right? Like he just pushes his teams. He gets the most out of his team. So I would have to say Northwestern, and then Nebraska's right there.
I'll take Nebraska. Don't take my team that I was going to take there. Okay, you already had yours, sir. I'll take Nebraska to jump out of that low tier. Okay, very good. Little Cornhusker love. How about it? Washington has the best group of guards in the conference. Well,
that's Riley's squad, man. That's his squad.
Let's talk about it. In the old mid tier, year one for Danny Sprinkle went about how we thought it would. Even with great Osabor, there just wasn't enough on the roster. This year feels a little different, though. Feels like there's enough options, enough talent to really make things happen. Zoom Diallo, which was a name that was excited to be able to talk about here. But it's not, we talk about the first team all name, but he's got the game to back it up. He can score the ball a little bit. And then Frank, I never want to say, because he's got that extra letter in his first name. It always, extra in my mind. Not that, sorry, Frank. I know your name's fine, buddy. Frank Kepnang, 7 points, 5 boards, and 2 blocks. All around player there, obviously. He's been around for Coach Sprinkle. Not much else after him and Diallo, though. Sprinkle did go out and got that USC guard duo, Wesley Yates and Desmond Claude, 2 guys that we've talked about extensively in those DFS streets, both just bucket getters. Claude can get you 4 assists a game. Yates is that sharpshooter from the outside. I think Claude bringing that size, that playmaking is what's going to make a difference for Washington here this year. Then you add in mid-major stars like Kumari Peterson, averaged almost 20 points a game last season. Jacob Obnasovich coming in, who did average 20 points a game last season and 40% from deep. The offense is not going to be a problem. Unfortunately, as you can, we had the comment from Mason a little bit ago. Ognjenovic injury is what's going to hurt a little bit. So that just dropped today, actually, right, Mike? Like that's
yeah, that came out earlier today.
What's today? Thursday the 9th, right? So we're recording on the 9th, and that news dropped today.
January.
So that's going to be tough for them. But I guess if we had to pick an X factor here, I'll say Hans Steinbach, the German import. Pick a player here to want to follow here that's coming in, which is basically everybody on this roster, right? Torvik does not. We like to refer to Torvik a little bit sometimes. Torvik shop. Sometimes is how we refer to it. No, but they'd hate that defensive upside of this team. But 9 or 10 games in this conference, just off the offensive upside alone.
Yeah.
I think Washington can pull that off. Indiana 10-10 last year, Mike, in the conference. Finally, mercifully, the Mike Woodson era came to an end, and Indiana wasted no time. I mean, friend of the show.
Oh man, that's like our second coaching interview that we did.
That was. If you want to go back and have a laugh, you can go back and watch us with Coach DeVries on that one. But listen, man, 1 year out there in West Virginia, and now in the Big Ten at Indiana. This is an impressive roster. Obviously, his son is a big part of that, who we know was hurt a lot of last year. I like this roster. What are your thoughts on it?
Ooh, I'm gonna talk about this roster not as positively as you were going to, but I think the talent overall will give them a floor. So here's the deal, man. Like, the front court's loaded with question marks, as somebody in the chat just said. I don't know if anyone outside of DeVries is a significant like impact player. Like, okay, you got Lamar Wilkerson, right? On paper, Sam Houston, right? 20.5 points per game, 45% from three, elite scorer in the mids. My problem is when you look at his tier A games, he played 12 of them in his career. His offensive rating is around 80, and he's only shooting 31% from three in those games. That's kind of the story with the rest of these transfers. Now, do I think DeVries, obviously being at Drake, this guy does more with, with these type of guys. So I'm not saying that, and obviously these guys are going to be playing with better players around them. So I'm not obviously diving completely into this, but it is a little concerning. Like, you have Reed Bailey here, 19 points per game at Davidson, 42% from three, 10 tier A games. He shot 8% from three in his career tier A games. So, like, 10 is a large sample size. Okay, you know what, Mike? Like, tier A, that's tough, right? Like, you're going to have some tier B teams. So if you do tier A plus B, well, he's had 28 of those games in his career, and he's still only shooting 26% from three. You're basically, we talk about this every major conference we were doing. You're basically playing tier A plus B games every single night in these conferences. So while these guys have produced, they've been beating up on bad teams. Now, when they all come together under DeVries, I do see that, right, as a floor. I just don't think that there's a very high ceiling with this team. And I actually, Jay, I like Sam Alexis from Florida coming in, right? He was obviously banging bodies in practice every day with Half and Condon, Chinyelu. I know he was hurt a little bit last year. But then Connor Enright, I mean, a pretty successful season for DePaul, all things considered, as bad as that program had been. He's coming in. Those guys aren't going to get any pub, but I think they're going to be really important to keeping the floor in this mid tier, man. But I do have my concerns with Indiana here. You got Iowa, which we haven't seen our guy, man. Where's old C Thuggin, man? He's missing out on Big Ten night, I guess.
He must have like his bowling league or something. I don't know.
So,
he must
be
like this is his night to shine here.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously Ben McCullum coming in.
Riley is I mean. It's there's a fall off after starts, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a fall off, but it's these guys that are at this Drake program with him, and Drake's not in a slot, Missouri Valley, right? Cameron Manebu, okay, like he's probably going to struggle in the Big Ten. I like Tavian Banks. I think he's going to be a pretty good player. Part of 6 guys coming in from Drake. Alvaro Folgueras, obviously going to get a lot of headlines, man. The big man from Robert Morris. Versatility on the offensive end I think it's going to complement Sturts pretty nicely. But where I worry about Iowa is where we worried about them last year, where we targeted them in DFS, the defensive end. Like, I know McCollum, obviously had this team playing a super slow tempo. They want to maximize offensive possessions, right? Like, they want their weight and effective field goal percentage to mean more by taking the entire shot clock and being effective. So that should help them on the defensive end. But, man, like, that's going to be tough here in the Big Ten. I don't think there's more than a 10-win type ceiling here. So, yeah, this is another team, Jay, that I think I wouldn't be surprised if an Indiana or an Iowa kind of slipped down to the low and you could see someone like Northwestern Nebraska replace them. I'll stop my yapping on these two teams. Not as positive here. You got the Oregon Ducks, man. What's crazier to you, Jay? I know you love you some Oregon. Yep. Dana Altman's been at Oregon for 16 years. Dana Altman's 5th in all-time active wins, or that Dana Altman has never won less than 21 games at Eugene. Like, it's crazy what this guy's done, man. What are your thoughts here?
The answer is that last one, that he's never won fewer than 21 games in Eugene. That is absurd, by the way. We have heard some numbers in terms of tenures of coaches at some of these schools as we've gone through here. The Altman one didn't jump off the page that much as some of these other ones did. fifth in all-time active wins is pretty impressive. And he's going to have to milk everything that he can out of these players to get some more wins, especially at the beginning of the year, because my guy, if you guys can go back and check the tape from when he was coming in from high school. Jackson Shelstad has been my dude from the jump. And I saw, as soon as I got that ticker or, that notification and that said he broke his hand, and I was like, man, like that's tough for what Oregon does. And sometimes, he has a tendency, sometimes he's, that 3-point shooting improved a little bit. But, it's going to be tough, man. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, obviously a big part of what they do. Now, Elon transfer TK Simpkins. We talk all the time about that transition from the not power conferences into the power conferences. So that was already going to be something that Simpkins was going to have to work through. Now he's just going to have, this is more like on the job training as to how much workload he's going to have to carry.
Yeah.
And that includes distribution. That includes getting his teammates involved, picking up some of the slack that Shelstad would have had. So we'll see if he can get that done. Obviously, Steve knows what he's talking about there with Biddle.
Yeah, he's gonna be busy.
Speaking of guys that'll pick up a little bit of the distribution slack, helping out his teammates. Just run through one of the best bigs in the country. I mean, what he's great. And that's what helps with Oregon's floor, right? He's just that good of a player. Biddle, Kwame Evans, and Sean Stewart coming in from Ohio State. That's one of the best front courts in the league. I don't trust the backcourt. Shelstad is one of those players, even though I love watching him play, some nights you can't trust Shelstad either, even when he's healthy and he's on the floor. And that's okay, but I feel like sometimes this is the team that's going to have to learn to win without him, and then they're going to have to learn to win with him. And that, for me, is what keeps Oregon in this mid-tier and not going to take a jump to that high tier, because it's going to be almost like 2 seasons for them. And I know that he's only out for a month and a half, but that's a big time reset to bring your floor general back on, to have to relearn how to win. I mean, he's talented. Obviously, he's been around, and some of these guys, they know him, but it'll be interesting to see if Dana Allman can pull off, another great job out there in Eugene. Wisconsin, Mike, 13-7 in the conference last season, exceeding expectations, no doubt about it, last year, thanks to what might have been the best portal addition in the country in John Tanji, man. And now he's out the door like a Drake lawsuit, and Crowell, Klesmith, and McGee are all out too. So Greg Gard's going to have to insert some new pieces to keep the train rolling, man.
Yeah, and Babu's diving in here, man, with the Boyd and Blackwell here. And Mason saying they're always overrated, but that's the one big piece that does return. You got John Blackwell, who broke out last year. We predicted it. I think everyone predicted it after what they saw from his freshman year. Look, him and Nolan Winter, man, this is definitely a team that has a high floor. Nolan Winter, man, 10 points per game, 132 offensive rating. This guy should have been playing more. Obviously, Crowell being there, they had that big rotation that was working out there. But, I mean, you feed this guy 30 minutes to go with Blackwell, they're going to make some things happen here. I love Nick Boyd, obviously on that Final Four run with San Diego State. Andrew Rohde, I'm a big fan of him even since he was with St. Thomas, man. Got a year under his belt with Virginia in the ACC, so I don't think the transition for him. I think he'll be able to be a solid player for them. And Austin Rapp, coming in from Portland, man, but you like his game. All these guys can shoot. I really like their offensive profile, but some real concerns defensively with this team as a whole, man. I don't know that we see, what they went 13 games last year. Probably something more like 10 or 11 wins here. Here we go. Last team in this tier, my man. We could do an hour show on these guys.
Do you want me to rip my shirt off and stand on the table, or no?
No, man.
We don't want to do that in honor of Muss? Okay.
Right. Nah, not in honor of Muss, even so. But whatever that was last year for USC and Musselman, it just didn't work. And this year it's looking like he was going to try more of the same, right? Until some reports that potentially Jordan Marsh would actually handle the point guard position coming in from UNC Asheville. There's a lot of talk is that Rodney Rice, who's a really solid wing coming in from Maryland, and Chad Baker-Mazar, your boy who's been in college for 10 years, and experienced as hell. Obviously went to a Final Four last year. That those guys were going to be your primary ball handlers. Like, that is so weird. Yes, Riley's going to be a big loss. I saw that he's not going to be ramped up till sometime. They'll take a look at him in like January to see where he's at with everything that happened in the offseason. So tough loss there. But we'll see. A lot of talk about a month ago about Jordan Marsh from Rothstein saying that, he looks like potentially the primary point guard. I don't know. I don't mind teams when they go to like this, positionless basketball, but I think the one position that you have to value is the point guard position in college basketball, man. Because you just got like a bunch of wings, dude, on this team. Ezra Sarr from Utah, Kofi from Virginia, obviously more of a forward. Amarian Dickerson, and Robert Morris comes in. Jaden Brunell, kind of a stretch forward. Like, they all can bring something different. Terrence Williams is also back. Like, it's a lot of people on this roster, and it's like, what is Gabe Dines doing in this? He's 7'5". You definitely can't teach that, Jay. But I don't know how he works with this, like, want to get up and down. You got this 7'5" guy that blocks shots. They're probably going to want to start guys like Kofi and Brunell and space the floor and play positionless basketball. So I don't know what Muss is doing. This is the case where, like, if it works, then it's going to be pretty solid. But it could get bad real quickly. So I would lump them in there with question marks that we had for Indiana, as well as Iowa here.
Dines, I feel like, is going to be just like stuck playing 14 minutes in situational.
I don't even know if he gets that, man. Like I don't know. It's weird.
10.
Yeah, if he gets on the floor, he makes no sense on this roster. Like, I don't.
I went too much. I gave him too much credit. You think? Like, you don't think he's going to even be able to? I
think he needs to be
much
out there. But then when you're like not playing with a point guard, what are you doing with a 7'5" center?
Steve's shooting me down real quick. He ain't playing. I mean, man, that's what I mean. Like, maybe I overshot minute wise, but situationally, he's just going to be a guy that they shove in there in half court situations, and you're gonna be a disruptor. Is that enough to say that you're a good defending team inside? No, it's not.
Hey Jay, quick note here, man. Jerry Easter, he follows us over on Twitter at the One and Done page, man. He's a guard, so maybe he'll step up. Maybe get that one and done rub, dude.
Why not? I mean, obviously, you got coaches taking jobs at Indiana and Kentucky that have been interviewed on this show. So, I'm just saying, like, why not? Come hang out with us over here at One and Done, like Steve and Riley are doing. Mason hopping in the chat as well. Babu keeping it rolling. Everybody hanging out with us over here tonight. Snake's Eyes. Hey, Snake's Eyes, I wanted to tell you, man, before we recap this mid-tier, you asked if the mixer is the prize for the Fantrax League. It is not. Okay, I appreciate the thought, and the history behind the mixer is I took the mixer out of the shot one show, and I got harassed immediately about it not being there. So it will forever be a part of this show. It will not be the prize for the Fantrax League, but we appreciate the you asking anyway, Snake Size, for sure. Chad Baker Mazzara, I've made enough jokes about his age.
Mason's making them too.
and honestly, it's not like he can hear me make them anyway. So, because he's old. So.
Oh, I see what you did. I was like, he definitely is watching the show.
No, it's because he's old. Because
gotcha.
He does his hearing aids because he's old. I mean, I'm happy. He's a good player, right? Is Musk going to be able to, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a train wreck, honestly.
All right. Mid-tier, USC, Wisconsin, Oregon, Iowa, Indiana, and Washington. Who's your pick? Pick one to jump to the high tier before we move to that tier, man. Who's going to jump?
Oh, boy.
Who could jump, most likely?
Or Oregon. Okay. Maybe Washington.
Okay.
Wisconsin's there, too. I'll say Oregon, man. I got Oregon.
If you pick them all, you can't be wrong. So you can just do whatever you want to do, okay? Just choose them all. Just pick all 6. It's whatever. It's fine. We can do that. While you're around here hanging out with us, make sure you push those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. We're on our way to 11 Fulfillion, Gazillion, and 1 followers or subscribers, I should say, over on YouTube. They're going to make us a plutonium plaque for that. I got word from YouTube. They're going to do that for us when it happens. But until then, let's get to 1600 first. So make sure you hit that button if you haven't already. Man, I'm excited to talk some high tier Big Ten hoops, man. And I just think we should get to it. I don't think we should spend any more time, waiting for our guy Cam to show up in the live chat. We're gonna ride him when he gets here, and I'll say what I always say to him when he's late. But in the meantime,
Bobby's already hating. He's already hating.
Let me hit Michigan State first, okay? Who, by the way, was not on the preseason top 25 that got released today. And I was like, oh, I guess just F Tom Izzo, right? Like, whatever. Does it matter who's on this roster, though? It doesn't. And it doesn't matter if they lose in November. How many times have we said, oh, my God, oh, they've lost 6 games. Oh, it's like, is it March? Then let's stop worrying about Michigan State. And last year, it all came together, and they had a great year, 17-3 in the conference. They're just going to battle year in and year out. And this year, it's more of the same as the roster pretty much stays intact. And then you add a couple of pieces from the portal, sprinkle it in there. Strong freshman class, put that in right there, stir it all up. This is going to be a good team, obviously. Returning sophomore point guard Jeremy Fears. That's my guy, feeling like he's going to be a star running the show here. Already averaged 5.5 times last year. I expect those points to even maybe creep up to double digits. Let's say that guy, what Jeremy Fears, what do you think? Like, what if he goes 10-6? That's not out of the realm of possibility, right?
Oh, yeah, like 10-6. 11-6, yeah, right there.
Yeah, right around there. And then you got Jackson Kohler, versatile.
That's my guy.
I know that's your guy. So I got Fears on this roster, and you got Kohler. 8 points, 8 boards, 37% from deep. Just, he's the guy that we're going to see in slow motion when they're breaking away from commercial, going like, like that's Jackson Kohler there. And then Carson Cooper, he's been around, big man. Cohen Carr, athletic wing, is an absolute highlight reel, 8 points per game last season. When we talk about additions, though, I like Trey Fort coming in from Samford, not Stanford, Samford, that's right. But he does have power conference experience previously over at Mississippi State here. All right, we got a Cam Ward reference earlier in the comment section right now. He is a forward that's coming over, not the Titans quarterback. Man, I sent you that throw that he made across his body, that freaking dime. Anyways, this Cam Ward, 4-star forward, and Jordan Scott also have a little bit of upside. I don't know, man, though. When it comes to like the offensive firepower, that is the one question mark for me. The strong defensive team, as always, like they always are under Izzo. Fears and Kohler are going to have to take another step offensively to put them over the top. I think we do want what I think we'd be remiss to not talk about that they lost Caleb Glenn in the offseason due to injury. Bummer there.
Big loss, yeah.
Bummer there for sure. But Michigan State belongs in the high tier with Ohio State. Say it with me. OHIO. Put them in. It all starts with Bruce Thornton, man. When you talk about stars, when you talk about college basketball, when you talk about winning at a high level, it takes stars, and that's what Bruce Thornton is, entering his senior year with a ton of experience and one of the most impressive slash lines in the country.
Yeah, the slash line was like 50, 42, like 86 or something. Like, yeah, I'll take that at point guard. That's pretty solid. So look, they're catching a lot of flack in the in the old chat here, and Jake Dealer obviously has a lot to prove. But he's got proven guys coming back, because John Mobley, highly impressive last year, 13 points per game, shot 38% from 3. Devin Royal showed he could play at a high level. Like, those 3 are obviously their core. Here's where I have question marks and why they could probably fall down into the mid-tier. It's this front court. We talked about it when we profiled their transfer portal. Brandon Noel coming in from Wright State, an impressive player on the horizon. I don't think he's going to have the athleticism to hang. But Christoph Tilley from Santa Clara, I mean, he was pretty productive in limited minutes. He played 18 to 20 minutes in the WCC. But, man, he doesn't rebound. So, this is the Big Ten, man. Those two guys, they're going to have to really light it up offensively because I don't know that this defense is going to be really good. But, man, at the end of the day, like this backcourt guard play, like you say, college basketball, man, like Bruce Thornton, Mobley, you have experience. I think Tilly can step forward, at least offensively for the squad. So, yeah, while they are probably the team that I think of all these squads up here in the high tier that could fall into the mid, I do think they have a ceiling to be a high tier team. And you got UCLA here, man. Mick Cronin bouncing back nicely last year, but obviously UCLA fans, they want the Gabe Cubs. Oh God. UCLA fans want the 2020, 2023 version where they're, challenging for Final Fours and natties and things like that, or at least, getting into the old second weekend of the tournament. Here's the deal with them, right? You get the hometown kid coming back, New Mexico transfer Donovan Dent, and he's an absolute stud. Probably on the short list of top point guards outside of, Braden Smith and some of these other guys. I don't know about this fit, man. Like Mick Cronin, he's got to get back to playing with more tempo. You cannot have Donovan Dent like walking the ball up. It's just going to look weird. It's not going to go to what his skill set is. Like you need to get him out on the open floor. And that's what Cronin did, a few years ago. We'll see if he kind of goes back to that. He's going to have a lot of floor spacing weapons, man, like Sky Clark. He's a guy that can facilitate and shoot it. So a nice secondary, primary ball handler for them. You got Eric Daly, who I really like, averaged 11 points right there in the front court. Tyler Bilodeau showed that he could play inside and out. Riley's calling for the old Trent Perry breakout, who was a highly recruited player the previous year. Here's the next factor, man. Xavier Booker from Michigan State. Like how many times we get a top 5 consensus high school player just doesn't get any opportunity at Michigan State. It feels like there's some upside that can tap into. I like the Kansas City transfer, Jamar Brown. He can shoot it, but obviously this is a jump in competition from the Summit. He's one of the strongest rebounders at the guard wing position, so that can't go overlooked, especially on the offensive class, man. And this offensive tag, Jay, Final Four type ceiling. To me, like they got a lot of dudes, man, and that they're going to be inside the top 20 to 25 in defensive efficiency. They've been there 3 of the last 4 years, so pretty exciting times, man. And then an interesting team up here in the high tier is Illinois. Brad Underwood. Nice runs during the regular season, but once again, struggling to get out of the first weekend. It's been the theme, outside a couple of years ago when they made the Elite Eight. So he's like embraced this environment. It's this environment where it's like, just bring all the international guys in and let's see if we can make something happen. So obviously Akashonis is gone, but Tomislav Visic, he's back, returns to campus as one of the top bigs in the country. Just love his game overall, can shoot the three, can pass. Kylan Boswell, I think he can shoot it better than what he displayed last year. And also, he's got some playmaking chops to him, although sometimes he tends to stand in the corner. You got Benham Rickus. Hey, he's got a year of experience at the Big Ten level now. But, man, these international ads, Jay, I mean, you got the Serbian kid, 2 Serbian kids, man. And I shouldn't even say kid because Mihajlo Petrovic is already 22 years old and making headlines. And his countryman, David Mirkovic, I mean, he's a big-body dude that can rebound and pass, man. Like this is a pretty solid roster, man. What's your take here?
Yeah, and you didn't even mention Stojakovic, who I know is at a knee right now, and then a couple people in the chat, I believe, had mentioned that. But I think he'll be back for the beginning of the season, and if he's not, I don't think it'll be too long after that. So they'll get his shooting there, 18 points per game on a Cal team that
yeah, efficiency was not going to be there.
Yeah, so you made it happen, though. Still found a way to score 18. He's just high usage is what he's used to on bad teams, but he's not going to have to be Superman, man. And that's what's going to be great for him, being able to not have to be that guy and put the cape on every night. When he has that, he's going to be like that 3 for them. Third type option on offense. And that's nice.
Nice.
That's a luxury to have that guy. And I think he's going to thrive in that role, man. A lot of tools to work with there for Coach Underwood. We'll see if he can get over the hump. Purdue, man. Sometimes when you lose a generational type of a guy, a once in a blue moon talent like Zach Edey, it you might go wanting for a little bit, right? But it wasn't so shabby for Matt Painter and the crew. Made a nice run. And I feel like a lot of people are slotting Purdue number one. I'll ask you after we get done with the high tier, who your pick will be. But I've seen a few folks out there picking the Boilermakers. Roster construction wise, we talk about that a lot in our chat behind the scenes and in general about some of these rosters. And Purdue is just, it's a question mark, I think. But I'm not questioning the overall talent. I'm not questioning that. Okay, it just feels like it's okay. Braden Smith, obviously, right? Like that's the top. That's the creme de la creme.
Get that out of the way.
Let's just start there, and then you got Braden Smith A1, and then you got right here TKR is just like right below it. It's easy to forget about Edey. When Trey Kaufman-Wren's averaging 20 a night and 6.5 boards, man, and looking dominant. So, there's no better guard forward duo in the country. You got shooters, CJ Cox, Fletcher Lawyer. Is it all gravy though, man? Like, what's the deal?
All right, man. Yeah, that profile's nice, right?
Yeah.
It might be good enough, but here's my problem. All right, so TKR thriving as that 5 because Camden Heide was at that 4 spot shooting lights out from 3. Now it looks like TKR is probably going to move to the 4, and you're going to bring big man Oscar Clough to play the 5, who is basically a plotting big in the paint. And if you have the paint clogged, now I know TKR shot it over 40% from 3, but it was no volume there. Like I don't even think he took 20 attempts last year. So to say that he can't do it, I can't quite go there yet. But you're telling me TKR and Clough just clogging up the paint? Like that's not a way to maximize Braden Smith, man. Like you need a Camden Heide out there. So TKR is really going to have to be able to space the floor because you got Lawyer and Cox that can at 40+%. So look, man, I'm not saying they're not a top 3 team or top 5 team, right? I just have question marks if they're going to try to fit Clough with.
Well, what's realistic for Clough, man? Like, what's realistic for Clough here? I mean, 17.5 points, 12.5 boards.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be closer to like 8 points and like 6 rebounds or something, obviously.
Okay, so in how many minutes though?
But my problem, I mean, probably 24 to 26. But my problem is like, it's not even what he produces. It's what he takes away from the floor spacing of the offense. Because it's like, okay, now 3 guards have to play on the perimeter. You can see.
So can you get that? Can you get what you need out of him by not playing him as much? Like, is it?
I think he needs to come off the bench. Okay. I think he needs to be the backup 5. I think if you have TKR at the 5, a floor spacer, like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like Liam Murphy's coming in. He's a floor spacing big. Like that's probably not what they're gonna do, and he's probably not set up for Big Ten. But if you put this kid around TKR, Braden Smith, Lawyer, CJ Cox, like, okay, like the game becomes a lot easier. He just kind of stands in the corner like Cam Heide and he shoots 3s and hits it at a 40% clip. Like that makes this offense the most dangerous in the country. I just don't know that this offense is the most dangerous in the country when you have TKR and Clough on the floor at the same time. So that's my only thing, man. But yeah, I mean, people in the chat are basically saying this. I mean, it's one of the best rosters, like you said, Jay. I mean, they got this kid coming in from Israel, Omar Mayer. He's another option for him. Like, my problem with them has nothing to do with talent overall. It literally has everything to do with, are you going to literally try to play these 2 guys? But if TKR is able to shoot 2 or 3 threes, even four threes attempted, and he's able to shoot it at a 35+% clip, then I got no problems with this roster here, man. So I don't know. It's interesting to look at, and maybe I'm nitpicking here, but I think it could be an issue. So.
But you got to at this point, at this level, with how tight these tiers are, especially at the top, right? Like these are high level teams in any conference, in any league. Doesn't matter where they are, their rosters would line up with anybody. Michigan's another one, Mike.
Yeah, Michigan's definitely another one, man. Dusty May obviously wasting no time. They went from worse than the Big Ten to the Sweet 16, so obviously did a great job in his first year. Floor and the ceiling are now raised, and don't worry, Purdue fans, if you had to sit through that, because I fit questions for Michigan, and Steve brought it up at the very beginning of the show. So like you lose Wolf and Golden, but you bring back probably the best all-around player in the game. Axel Lindyborg, he's pretty good, man. 18 points, 11 boards, 4 assists, nearly 2 steals, nearly 2 blocks, 36% from 3, can play the 3 and the 4.
I'm so glad he's still in college.
My goodness, why is he not in the NBA? But these guys are talented. Like, and then you have Morez Johnson from Illinois who flashed. You got Adimara, who, I mean, look at his stat line: 6 points, 4 boards, almost 2 blocks in 13 minutes a game. My goodness, like these guys are really good. Oh, and Will Shedder's there. Stretch 4 is pretty good too. So here's where it's talking about, and the chat's all over it, man. Elliot Cadeau, I don't understand the fit. Trey Donaldson was a much better fit. Obviously, he's out the door to Miami. Elliot Cadeau, while he did shoot it better from 3-point last year, like that's not his strength. We'll see if he's improved on that, because if he even becomes a 34% 3-point shooter, 33% 3-point shooter, that's really going to help. But the problem is look at this backcourt. Like Namari Burnett's perfect for Lindyborg, but there's no way you can play Lindyborg, Johnson, and Mara together, even though I think Lindyborg can play the 3. Like Roddy Gale with Elliot Cadeau? What, like, this is like the opposite of Purdue. Now your guards can't shoot, and your bigs are your strengths.
Bigs are all shooting, yeah.
So it's like, well, what are you doing? You have two, Morez Johnson's a paint pound big. You got Addy Mara, wants to get around the rim. Yaxel can do it all, but it's like, I don't know. So maybe one of these guys like LJ Kaysen or like Trey McKinney's a freshman, Winters Rady. I'm just fascinated how May's going to put the pieces together, because it makes 0 sense to run a Cadeau Gale with the 3 bigs, or a Cadeau. Maybe you can get away with Burnett because he's a floor spacer, but at that point, you really only have 2 floor spacers. And it's like you're not taking advantage of your strength. So there's just 0 chance all 3 of those guys should start together.
Yeah, but I want to see
interesting
it.
Case. You want to see? Yeah.
I don't care if it would, if they should. Okay, I do not care at all. I want to see Lindyborg, Johnson, Mara. I want to see Cadeau, and I want to see Roddy Gale. And I want to see some men want to watch the world burn. Okay?
That's what you want.
And honestly,
yeah, they're going to see a lot of zone, 100%.
A rose could bloom from that concrete, Mike. Okay, a rose.
Oh my
it could happen, my friend. Michigan in that high tier, joined by Purdue, Illinois, UCLA, Ohio State. That is right, Ohio State in our high tier here on One and Done with the ceiling. And then, of course, Michigan State rounding out the high tier. In the mid-tier, Washington and Danny Sprinkle. Indiana getting themselves a new coach. Iowa, Oregon, get Wilson and Jackson. Wisconsin and USC rounding out the mid-tier. And then down there at the bottom, cover your ears, Penn State fans in the chat, because you're leading off the low tier, along with Rutgers, Minnesota, Northwestern, Nebraska, who could jump out of there, man. Like, they could jump up. It could happen. Maryland, I don't know who's going to score for them, but, it's why they're down there in the bottom. So it is what it is.
Love it.
Love it.
The chat was hopping, man.
All right, Mike, plant your flag. Who's going to win the conference regular season?
Purdue.
Okay. You think?
I think Painter's smart enough to make it work with Braden Smith's final years. Yeah, I think Purdue. UCLA is interesting.
I can't believe I'm going to be rooting for Michigan this year. What a joke!
Oh boy, you just want to see craziness.
I listen.
There's a way it can work. It's just not with it's like St. John's. Like, what are they doing? We'll talk about them next week. But it's that kind of a tease for what we got going on next week too.
Love that. What do we got going on next week, Mike, before we get out of here?
Well, we got one final preview. We made it to the finish line. We set this goal that we were going to do all 31 conferences. We started in – when did we start? We started in July.
I feel like it was late July.
Yeah. Late July we started this thing. We appreciate everyone that's come on the ride with us. We've got one more conference preview. It's going to be the SEC, Dave C. Hustle's favorite conference, football or basketball. Oh, the most overrated conference. Here we go. Well, you'll love where we put this is the team that we support, which is pretty near where they finished last year. But anyway, we're going to do that. And then we're going to try to get some guests on here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to do some what do you call it? Some cleaning up of things that in the previews,
Sure.
maybe some stuff that we've heard over the last 2 to 3, 4 weeks that we want to talk about and revisit after we've previewed everybody. Yeah, some updates. Exactly. We'll do the best ball draft in a couple of weeks, man. We got DFS coming. We'll do some more news and notes. Drop the top 25 that we did 3 months ago because we got new people that want to know. Yeah, man, it's going to be fun. So it's an awesome ride, man.
Yeah, for sure. One more, and then one more conference to preview next week, and then, so much more to come. DFS, obviously, when the season starts. Push the like and subscribe buttons. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you don't miss one single solitary minute of our college basketball coverage here on One and Done. Shout out to our guy, Nate C. Hustle, behind the scenes, pushing the buttons tonight. Great job as always, Nate. Shout out to our guy, Eric the Blue, at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets, getting you the studio ready and those fire graphics, those fire tears that you saw there. Shout out to Eric for sure. Shout out to this man on the screen with me. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34 over there on X. Give him a follow. Follow us on the show page at One and Done CBB over there on X. Make sure you hop into all of our polls that we have up right now. Make sure you catch up on our top 20 returning players countdown as well. That's going on over there on the Twitter page, X page, whatever you want to call it. And give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you over there and here as well. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. We appreciate all of you for being here tonight. Snake's Eyes saying he's going to watch from Australia. My man.
Love the Breadheads.
We love the Breadheads. Cam watched us from the 10th row behind home plate at an Iowa Cubs game. He took in a conference preview earlier in the year. We have some of the best people that hang around here with us on this show. We definitely appreciate everybody that did so tonight and has ever done so and will do so in the future. Until SDC night, ladies and gents, take care of yourselves. Tell somebody that you love them. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.